I'm starting an intent to from this activity to my new activity. Then in this activity, in my XML file, I only added one recycler view. Yes, and also I've created one another tile layout, which you can say also the row layout, in which I'm added one circular image view, then one text view to show my username, and another one text view to show something like email or the phone number of my user when we get it from our database. So we will start extracting our data. So the first thing you want to do is go in your model class. We will be extracting data from our database directly, and we will not referring to our node. So what you can do is just come here and also create one empty constructor here. Empty constructor. It should not take any argument list. So you just use this. Then come back in your new activity. Just start here. First thing I will do is I will bind my recycler view. The next thing I want is I have to add on some layout to my recycler views, right? So I will add my layout, so set layout manager in this new linear layout manager, and in here you have to pass the context. Okay, once this is done, I have to refer my database, right? So I will just create that also. Firebase auth and our Firebase database, and I will initialize it here. And also my auth. Okay, once this is done, I want to start something from my database. I want to retrieve what I want to retrieve. I want to retrieve this branch, and in this branch, how many users I have? I want all that users. I right now I have 3 users. You can see these are the UIDs of my users. Yes. In this main branch, I want to retrieve all these branches, all these 3 branches, and also the data inside those branches. So what you can do is I'll just call my database dot get reference dot child. The first child was the users, which was my main branch, and then I will add a value event listener. This event will give us some data, and you just have to give new value event listener. You now you can see I got 2 methods. This is on data change method, and this is on cancel method. This method is used to handle some errors from our database. Yes, and this is method from where we can take some data from our database. You can see it is sending me a data snapshot, the data snapshot from my database of this branch. You have to check the spelling which you are mentioning here and the spelling here, it should be correct, then only it will work. And in this, the first thing I want to do is I want to add all my data in an array list. So first I have to create one array list. So I will just come back here and I'll create one array list of type of my model class, and in this just initialize it. And also I need one adapter here, right? So when I retrieve some data, I want to bind those data to my recycler view, so I also need one adapter here. So first thing, we will create an adapter here. Just right click on your package name, java class, and adapter, and you should extend this adapter to recycler view dot adapter. And in the argument list, you have to pass your adapter name and view holder. You have to create this view holder class. Yes, and also you have to create the methods of your adapter. Once this is done, I will delete this junk file here. Yes, and you have to extend this view holder class as recycler view dot view holder, and then you have to also add the super class here. Yes, once this is done, now I've got 3 methods: on create view holder, on bind view holder, and the get item count. I already explained you what these things work. So first thing I want to bind this username, this all the text views and the image view to my view holder. So first I'll create those text view. The first was the username, and then let's say we will bind our user email to it and one circular image view which I added. Then I will bind those things equal to item view dot find view by ID. Order write the row username. That was the idea I gave in my tile layout. Then you dot find you by ID message, and then my circular image dot my row image. These are the ID which I'm getting from my user tile. You can see here I've given this circular image as ID as the row image, this text as ID of row username, the row message here. Yes, I am retrieving those from here. Then once this is done, I want need one array list here and also the context here. So first I'll create one context here, then one array list of type user or model class. Then I have to also create a constructor for this too. While when I'm getting this from my main Java file, so I'll generate one constructor with these two items. Now you can see my constructor is ready. So now how many times I want to use this layout in my recycler view? I want to use this layout as many times as I'm having the users in my database. You can see I'm having 3 users here. So that means I need to use this layout 3 times in my recycler view, right? So where are we storing this 3 users? I'm storing these 3 users in my array list. So array list size will be the same of my users. I'll mention here array list dot size. So it will give me that row layout. The how many items are there in my array list. That many times it will give me that item user tile in my recycler view. So once this is done, I have to pass some view to my view holder class here. So for this in on create view holder, you have to just type view and in this layout inflator dot from in this context of my main activity, and then inflate r dot layout dot my user tile, and then you have to pass this parent and false as the attached to roots. So once this is done, in the return statement, you have to pass this view as a new view holder, and in the view holder argument list, you have to pass this view. So from here, we are passing the view to a view holder class. Once this is done, we have to now work on my on bind view holder. This is the method we bind some data to our text user or our circular image view, right? So first thing I'm getting from my is I want to add my username holder dot username dot set text. In this set text I am referring to my array list dot get position of my user. Then from that position I want get username. This was the getter and setter which I already created in my model class. Yes, this was the getter and setter. You can see now this is highlighted. That means it is used by some other classes. Now the next thing I also want to add the email dot set text from my array list dot get user position, and in that position I want the email. And now you can see the remaining one is to add one image here. Now you can you can't directly add some image by using the just set image URI or something. You have to use some Glide or Picasso, which are the third party libraries, which I will show you. Just you have to search Glide 100. Then you will get this first GitHub page. You just go in there. You can also use the Picasso if you want. I prefer Glide for this. And this in your, you can see these two dependencies. You have to just copy it from here and go back in your Gradle, module level Gradle, and here paste those things and sync your project. Yes, now this is synced. Now you can use that glide to update your image from your database. So you just mention here glide. Sorry, why it is not giving me the option. Yes, now it is working. Yeah, glide width. In this width, you have to pass your context, and then after you have to load. Use this option, the load. In this load, you have to pass that you that URL which you are getting from my database. Just you have to mention rlist.get the position of your user, and from that position get image URI. So this will pass the image URI which we are getting from the database. Now once we are getting the image from my database, there will be a some time which it will take to load the data from a user and set the image, because image size may differ, like how many MBs we are uploading the image or how less is the MB size of my image. So it will just take a little bit of time. So until that time I want to show something else to my user, right? You can, if you see in the WhatsApp, if you are not setted your user profile, then it will show some other image until the user set their user profile, right? So that is the placeholder thing. So also I want to add one placeholder here until my image is ready to use in my profile image. So I'll just add one placeholder here and just r dot drawable dot this one which are already included. You can see this is the image I want to use as the placeholder in my profile image, and then you have to pass here. Yes, now just put on semicolon here, so it will ready to use. So this glide, what it will do, it will take your image from your database and it will put your image inside this inside there, and then you have to also add some placeholder here. Then now once this is done, now yeah, okay, let me check once again. Yeah, now we have to go back to your dashboard here, and in here, in this when on data change, I want to just remove anything from my array list. Array list dot clear. If there is any data in my array list, I want to just clear it. Then I want to start a for loop here from the data snapshot one, and I want to get the children of my snapshot which I'm getting from my database. So I'm creating one data snapshot variable here, and I'm getting this snapshot which I'm getting from my database, and I'm asking for the children of my snapshot. Then I'll just create my model class, and then in that I want to pass some snapshot.one.get value, and in your value of type of your model class. So when you see here, when you see in your database class, we are giving the name of my node here as the same name which you are using in our model class. The same name we are using here, right? So what you can do is you can directly use these names, and you don't want to mention all those things. You can directly use this. So what it will do, it will get all the data and it will check your model class of the same name, and it will put the data inside that same name. So once this is done, I want to add this into my array list dot add and the user. Yes. Now when my array list is added, I want to notify some data change to my adapter. How can do that? I have not created an adapter here. So first thing, you have to create an adapter variable here, adapter, new adapter. In this you have to pass first the context, which is my dashboard activate dot this, and then the array list. And I would also have to set this um, adapter to my recycler view. So I'm mentioning my recycler view here. Recycler view dot set adapter. And here, when my data is changed, I want to notify my adapter. Okay. Yeah, here adapter dot notify dataset change. Okay, once this is done, it should work fine. Let's check. I'll just log in my user. Password was invalid. Yes, and I will upload some data here. Now you can see I'm getting this data here. I'm getting my name, the email of my user, getting an other username, the email of my user, but I'm not getting the images. Let me check what is wrong here. I think my glide is not working correctly. Yes, I'm not at all using the into function here. I'm getting my array image URI, and also I'm putting my placeholder, but I'm not saying where to put that image. So you have to also mention here into your circular image. Now it should work fine. Log in my user. Just wait a minute. Upload one image here. Yeah, now this time I'm also getting my images because I forgot to mention where I want to put those images from the glide. Yes, I want to put this into my holder or sub image second. Now this is the way you can retrieve your data. I have added 3 users in my database, 1, 2, and 3, and getting all 3 users here with this same email which I'm passing here, the same email which I'm passing to my second user, and the same email which I'm passing to my third user. Right? Yes. Are there any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Should I explain once again? Yes. Should I explain once again?
No, sir. It's clear, sir.
Ramya ma'am.
Sir, give me the overview at once.
Okay. The first thing you have to pass one intent in your last activity where we are updating my user. I'm uploading my user data here in my this activity. In this from this activity, you have to start one intent from your new activity. This is my new activity. In the XML file, I am only adding one recycler view to my main XML, and also I created one another XML. to load the user data. In this example, I'm passing one circular image view, one text view, and another text view to get the users. The next thing, in your model class, you have to also mention one empty constructor here, because when we are retrieving some data here, you can see I'm not mentioning what type of data I want. Like, I'm not mentioning if I want only my email, if I want only username of my user. So you have to mention here one empty constructor, so it will load automatically with these names. So in this here, the first thing you want to do is you have to mention bind your database, bind your recycler view here, initialize your database and recycler view here. Then you have to set your layout manager to your recycler view as the new linear layout manager. And then you have to set adapter to your recycler view. And in your adapter class, you have to implement these three methods: on create view holder, on bind view holder, and get atom count. And you also create one view holder class, which will be extended to your recycler view dot view holder. In this, you have to bind those views which we are adding here in this layout. You have to bind those views. And then you have to also add one context and array list here, because we need data from the array list and also the context to where we want to show our data. So you have to construct this constructor for your adapter class. So when we are defining our adapter class in our Java file, we also have to pass some context and array list with it. So in the on create view holder, you have to first create the view of the layout manager from the user tile, and just parent and attach to root as false, and return the new view holder. And in this view holder, you have to pass the same view which you have created here. Then in the get item count, you have to mention the array list dot size, because how many users we are storing in our array list, that many times we want to use this layout. Yes, so you have to mention this. Then in on bind view holder, you have to bind some data from your database. So first thing, we are adding some data here. When I'm referring to my child as the user, then I want all the things inside my user. In this branch, I want all my things, so I'm adding on event listener directly here. Then I'm getting one snapshot as my return from my database. Then I'm creating one for loop, where I'm creating a data snapshot variable here, and this variable should store each and every child from the snapshot which I'm getting from my database. So once everything is stored in this, I'm adding this snapshot into my user model class. Model class is already specified with the same names which are uploaded in our database, so it will arrange automatically. Then I want to add this user model class into my array list. Then I'm also notifying the adapter that data set has changed, so it will recreate your adapter. So once this is done, in adapter class, once the array list have some data, once my array list have some data, I want to set some data from my array list. So I'm mentioning the holder, then username, which was the ID for my username here. Then I want to set some text in that. I'm referring to my array list, and also I'm passing the position where I am in my array list. So from that position, I want the username. These are the getter and setter methods which we have created here in my model class. Then also I'm doing the same from my email. Then from directly, you can't get the URL from the database, so I'm using the glide, which will help us to retrieve some data. Then in this glide, first you have to pass one context here, and then you want to pass what you want to load. I want to load the image from my array list, so I'm passing the position, I'm getting the image URL. Then from until that data is loaded, I want to place some placeholder in my image. So as a placeholder, I'm passing my this drawable file. Then where I want to load this image URI, I want to load this into this circular image view which you have mentioned in our user tile. So once you have done all this correctly, so everything will be visible in your class. You will
Okay,
get
sir.
something like output like this. How many users you have added, you will get all those users. You can also add phone number here if you want. It's your choice. Also you can add the city, anything. Yes. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Now if you are using some other names in your model class while uploading, and some other names are mentioned in your database here, in your, as your here you can see, If these tag names are different and your model class tag names are different, you have to specify in which branch you want to go. If your model class names and these names are different, you also have to specify in which branch you want to go in. From this branch you have to particularly get all this data. We are using the same names, so I'm directly getting the data from here. If you are mentioning some other names here and other names in a model class, you have to take care of this also. You have to mention all those branch names also. Yes. Any doubts?
No, sir.
So if there are no doubts, we will end this meeting.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.